I wanted to have a little tiny speech on this post because it just made me feel weird. Small tiny segment. Small tiny segment. A whole generation has been taught that critical theory is reality, like an advance in science. Argue with them and they'll tell you to read certain books as if they are religious texts. No self awareness at all. So this was leading towards a whole. Oh my god, I really went deep into this. Wait, what? Hold up. Oh, the original tweet that I had liked was a retweet of this picture. And now I forgot why I was there in the first place. Hold up. They should study the objective hard truth of hard sciences, like economics and the bell curve. And then I found this picture and I thought it was funny. Then the writer of the bell curve even denounce that shit and say it's quack science for racists. No, he's still on his bullshit. The sad thing is we implemented the main policy proposal of the book in 1996. He had one paragraph in the book that said he couldn't rule out the possibility of some racial differences in intelligence. He never asserted how they existed. If you read his latest works, his major concerns are how to address ignorance and he supports UBI. Okay, no. I mean, I know what tweet I was looking for. I know what tweet I was looking for, but now I don't know why I was there. I mean, I know that it was leading towards I know it was this. Fuck, I just want to get to this point without like losing myself. Hold on, because I'm boring you guys. Hold on. I know how I got here. Okay, it was a retweet of this one right here. The retweet is what I was looking for because it made a lot of fucking sense. Okay, just imagine working your way up from copy boy to a New York Times reporter over the course of 45 years and having your career ended by a teenager with this mentality that comes from being born into an extremely rich family and sheltered at 60,000 a year prep schools. I'm very used to people, my grandparents or people's parents, saying things they don't mean that are insensitive. Another student who was then 17 is now attending an Ivy League college told me. You correct them, you tell them you're not supposed to talk like that, and usually people are pretty apologetic and responsive to being corrected, and he was not. Um, and then I'm really struck by the kid's lines. You correct them and responsive to being corrected. Who does this kid think he or she is? The arrogance of assuming that everyone should agree with you. Okay, this is over the on the walk over. She said she talked about her favorite class at Andover, a history of American education that covered racial discrimination. He responded. She recalled it that it's frustrating because Black Americans keep blaming the system, but racism is over. There's nothing against them anymore. They can get out. They can get out of the ghetto if they want to. Miss Shepard said she tried to argue, but he talked over her whenever she interjected, their voices getting louder and attracting the attention of other students, two of whom confirmed her account of the conversation. This is the thing with these liberal institutions like Andover. They teach you the world should be like this, but that's not how reality is. She recalled to tell her, I sent McNeil a full, oh shit. That's racist. That's racist. Wow, okay. Okay, now I get the context of it better than the original tweet. So I'm glad I did that. Okay, that's dumb. That's fucking dumb. That has racial undertones. I definitely could see a surrounding match getting over when you make a point like that for the very points that I've made earlier today. So then there was a bunch of retweets, blah blah blah. Then it ended up with this: being racist or not is really just disagreeing. Uh, being racist or not is really just disagreeing politically. That's obviously like a fucking satire. Like, duh. How is racism not politics? It's always been political. No. Racism can and does define political factions, but in itself, racial hatred is in no way a political statement. If you are a racist and another person is not, it means you are racist, not just a person with another opinion. How do you define political sentiment? I tend to view racism, especially systemic racism, systemic racism, as inherently tied to politics. An individual learns racism from interactions and from society. I'm not sure how you can separate the two, even though you just did. What I'm getting at here is that by framing what essentially comes down to being racist or not as a political distinguisher, people want to morally separate themselves from being racist. It's not even subtextual with the Republicans at this point. They pretty much tell you. Okay, I see what you were saying. I agree the Democrats are racist too, and many use the overtness of Republican racism to act superior while simultaneously supporting racist policies advocated for by their own side. Okay, that's a dumb. That's a. Let me make my point too, because I agree with you that everybody's wrong. But yeah, that's racist. That's racist. And that person was right to even begin to say that. I am struck by this kid's lines. You correct them and be responsive to being corrected. Who does this kid think he or she is? A person with a point of view. That's clearly like the way we should be thinking because we're a progressive society that has a massive mix of people to which you can't just still believe in those things knowing full well that like if you Googled it, you would find more. The Google's a left leaning machine. Like, okay, that's the end of that segment. Okay, now I get that. I want to talk about that because I felt like that conversation was on something else. The white student who falsely acclaimed famed scientist reported Don McNeil of racism, effectively ending his story career at the Times, was not only on a 5K field trip, but had just graduated from a boarding school that cost 58K a year. Yeah, I see a lot of people say, "What's racist about it?" The dude said racism isn't real. That's race. Racism isn't real. You're just a victim of your own mentality type shit. While like I just made a post. I my last cover photo was a guy saying that I like got called an N word because I was behaving. I was acting up. Like dumb, dumb, dumb. That's dumb.